The disgusting things some of these street food vendors do will send chills to your spine. That evening, as he fetched firewood with his friend Ifeani, he whispered, I saw it again today. She does not cook with water. She uses something else. What did you see? Ifeani asked. Chinedu swallowed. It was not water. It looked like the color of urine. Ifeani dropped the firewood from his head and stared. Are you sure? Chinedu nodded. I swear on my father's name. That is why our food never finishes. That is why our pot is always full. The two boys ran back to the village, but they dared not tell the elders. Who would believe them? They were only children and Grace was respected. If they spoke wrongly, their mothers would beat them, and Grace might curse them. But whispers travel faster than Hamatan wind. Soon women at the stream began to say, they say Grace cooks with urine. Men at the palm wine joint argued whether it was true. Some laughed, saying, if urine tastes this sweet, then let her keep cooking. Others spat on the ground, disgusted. Still, nobody confronted Grace. Her stall was always crowded and customers licked their plates clean. One woman named Ngozi, who sold beans cake beside her, watched with burning jealousy. Every day, her own akara went cold and unsold, while Grace's customers carried plates with steam rising high. One evening, Ngozi decided to spy for herself. She pretended to pack her things slowly, but her eyes never left Grace. Grace thought she was alone. She bent down, lifted the strange clay pot again, and poured the yellow liquid into her big pot. Then she stared. Ngozi's hand froze on her tray. She almost dropped her beans cakes. Her heart pounded, and she muttered under her breath, Jesu, it is true. The next morning at the stream, Ngozi could not keep quiet. She told the women washing clothes, I saw it with my own eyes. Grace uses urine in her cooking. The women gasped so loudly that a bird flew from a tree. Some covered their mouths, others laughed nervously. One older woman shook her head. If what you say is true, then we are all doomed, for we have eaten her food. That night, the talk spread through the whole village. Some people swore never to buy from Grace again, but hunger is stronger than gossip. The next market day, her store was as full as ever. The truth had been seen, but no one was bold enough to act. And Grace, with her sly smile and sharp eyes, cooked as though she had nothing to hide. But the village of Oba Allah was restless. Fear had entered their hearts. Everyone was waiting for the first sign of sickness, the first strange death, the first proof that the food seller's secret pot carried the curse. And unknown to them, that proof was coming sooner than they thought. That evening, a strange thing happened. A swarm of flies gathered around Grace's stall. They buzzed thickly, landing on plates, swarming the pot. Yet people kept eating as though nothing was wrong. Some even said the food tasted sweeter that day than ever before. One boy licked his fingers and shouted, Mama Grace, your food is heaven. The crowd laughed nervously, but Grace only smiled, her sharp eyes glinting. Back at the stream, the women shook their heads. This thing is beyond us, Mama Nkechi said. If she's using urine, why do people not fall sick? Why does her food only taste better? The older women exchanged fearful glances. None of them had an answer. But deep in the village, under the shadow of the Iroko tree, the elders sat in silence. They had heard the gossip, and they knew it could not be ignored forever. Something had to be done. Someone had to watch Grace closely to see the truth with their own eyes. And so, in the days that followed, a young man named Peter, curious, restless, and brave, decided he would be the one to find out what Grace really put inside her pot. Peter was not the type to fear shadows. He was tall, with quick legs and sharper eyes, and the gossip about Grace's cooking kept burning in his chest. One evening, after the market had emptied and the moon rose bright over Oba Allah, he decided to watch her. He hid behind a bamboo fence near Grace's hut, his heart pounding like a drum. The night was quiet except for crickets. After some time, the sound of footsteps came. Grace appeared carrying a small clay pot covered with cloth. She looked left, then right, then slipped into the dark corner of her compound. Peter crouched lower. His breath was loud in his ears. Grace placed the clay pot on the ground, untied her wrapper slightly, and squatted over it. The soft trickle of liquid filled the air. Peter's stomach turned. His chest grew hot with disgust. When she was done, Grace tied the pot again and carried it to a cooking hut. There, she poured the liquid straight into a big black soup pot and stirred, humming like nothing was wrong. Peter pressed his hand against his mouth to keep from shouting. He had seen enough. The rumors were true. Grace was cooking with urine. He wanted to run into the village that very night and scream the truth, but fear chained him. Grace was respected, feared even. What if no one believed him? What if she cursed him? So Peter crept away silently, his body trembling. He knew he had witnessed something evil, something that would one day bring great disaster to Oba Allah. But for now, the secret remained in his heart, burning like fire he could not put out. The next